What's up, guys? My name is Reese Alley. I'm the CEO and partner at a company called SCA Construction. We are a stormwater contractor doing a little over $4 million a year. And I want to make these videos because I think there's a little bit of a lack of pertinent information on the larger side of construction. And while I am still young, still a really small fish in a big pond, I think it's at least valuable for the guys that are maybe the same size, smaller. Maybe you can learn something if you're bigger. This is just my story, and I feel like it's applicable to a lot of people. So I want to base this around what happens when you hire the wrong people, the people that are detrimental, the people that are a disease, the people that are a cancer to your organization. Because I, at this point, have probably had somewhere between 60 and 70 employees that I've cycled throughout the past 7 years or so, and I have learned quite a lot, painfully and non-painfully, but most of the mistakes you make, you remember, are the ones that hurt really, really bad. And so in this situation, I had a salesman that I had hired when I was 19 years old. At that year, this was in 2020, I'm 22 right now. That year, in the beginning of the year, we were at around 40 to 60,000 a month. I was making a killing. I mean, I was doing 15,000 hours a month in profit, working 90 hours a week, obviously, but that comes with the package. Halfway through the year, I had the grand idea that I was going to scale up my business and do this and keep going on that trajectory. And with that, I needed to hire an estimator. And in my mindset then, it was a salesman. There is a big difference between an estimator and a salesman. I won't get into that in this video, but I was going to hire him as a salesman. So he was going to be base salary, then plus commission, and we were just going to rock and roll. I put some ads on Indeed to hire this dude as a master of talent finding would do it. I hired the very first guy that I found. I didn't do any other interviews because he was in his mid-30s. He was from a big pest control company, had a great attitude, great smile, and that's the way it went. Did one interview, hired the dude, and basically let him loose. We had 2 estimates that we did together about. That was it. He said he was good. I trusted him, and because I was working so hard, I kind of let him to the wolves. I let him to the fire. I didn't train him. I didn't watch over him. I didn't even look over his shoulder. At the very, very least, you should always review your estimator or salesman's bids at least for a long time until you know you can trust him with your life, because at the end of the day, the sales are the very first step you can make in the business process of having a lead come in, estimating it correctly. If you don't get that part right, everything's just horrible downhill from there as far as when it gets to operations and the finance on the back end. But going back to on track, I hired this guy. We did this for a little while, and I had about 150,000 hours of work sold out. And so in my naive mind, I thought, well, even if he sucks, then I'm still going to have 150,000 hours of padding of work that's sold. I know it's sold right. I know it's profitable, and we can rock and roll on that stuff. 3 or 4 months down the road, once we ate through that 150 work and kind of got towards the end of that and started to do some of the jobs that he was selling, something started to happen. There started to be a change. I used to be able to get really good reviews. It was consistent. I got great feedback from customers. I was getting a lot of referrals. I had a lot of repeat business. And then all of a sudden, all of our customers started to hate us for some reason. They didn't like us anymore. And not only that, there was a lot of change orders all of a sudden, which I never really done before. And so between those handful of things and the fact that I had 3 or 4 crews running at the time, at that point, we were running at about a $70,000 to $100,000 a month pace. Keep in mind, we were a lot less than that on the front end, and we were around the $1 million pace mark at the back half of the year. We ended up doing about $640,000 in total that year, most of that being in the back half of the year at this time period. What happened is I burned through all of my savings. I went about $90,000 in debt in that time period, and I'm talking 6 months. From July to the end of the year, I burned through all of my savings, went into big credit card debt with vendors, getting behind on payments, all because, for the most part, I hired this gentleman, which, to be honest, it wasn't 100% his fault. He wasn't the right fit for the job, but it was me as the business owner, as the leader of the company, that didn't recognize how horrible everything was going for such a long period of time. There was red flags from the beginning. He wasn't answering his phone very quickly. There was customers that were complaining. My employees were complaining about some of the work that he was bidding, how he was describing the scopes. There was enough red flags to make a parade with. And instead of saying, oh my gosh, this is horrible, I need to get rid of this person and find somebody else, I was still working 80 or 90 hours of work, but I just could not fathom going back to sales and trying to hold operations together with bail and wire at the same time. And so I let it go for too long, and by the end of December, I literally had no money left, and I was so far in debt, which I should have done a long time ago, but I had to do something, and so I let him go, and that's when I figured out that he was lying to customers. He'd actually stolen quite a lot of money. I don't know the full extent of it, but I know it was at least maybe $10,000 or $15,000, and then there was another $30,000 or $40,000 of just damage that he had caused in my reputation, where he had a business inside of my business, and he would essentially take leads that came in on my reputation, on my dime, on my advertising or my referrals. He would say he was the owner of the company, and then he would either take the deposit or he would sell the job under my name and then do it with subs and then not pay the subs. It was a train wreck. I had to go back and fix all of those clients, but early next year, I was calling customers to get people on schedule. It was one of the worst times of my life. When I'd call someone to say, hey, Miss Susie, can you get on the schedule? And then Miss Susie would just start cussing me out and yelling on the phone and screaming and saying, I've been trying to get in touch with your company for 3 months, and there's a dumpster still at my house, and you messed up my this, and that, and the other, and all because he had ghosted them under my reputation, and they didn't have another phone number to call because I so foolishly, don't ever do this, chose to give my personal number as a sales number to this individual. And so they had no way to contact me. So ended up having to fix all those people. I lost all my money and then obviously went super far into debt. And so there's a lot else to the story after that. That is the difference. What can happen when you hire the wrong person? Be careful, be slow to hire and quick to fire. Slow to hire, quick to fire. Slow to hire, quick to fire. Say it with me. Slow to hire, quick to fire. There is no situation where not firing someone that you know shouldn't be there is going to benefit you less than keeping them and in keeping a wounded animal on the team. If you have a dog where 2 of his legs are broken and he has issues with eyesight and he can't see straight, pulling the front of the sled is going to run off a cliff, or the sled's not going to get anywhere, or all the other dogs are going to trip over the one in the front. All I want to say is I can't stress it out enough. I'm sure you guys have had similar experiences, and the salesman definitely wasn't the only bad person or wrong person that I made the decision to keep or not keep at that time period, and even now I've still made mistakes, but I have gotten a lot better at hiring people. So if y'all would like to hear more about the hiring process that we've used in the past and currently that really has produced some incredible people, or what kind of pay scales or pay grades we do in different positions, I'd be happy to talk about it. Whatever y'all think, leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and I hope this helps move your business forward. Cheers.